It's right here. You see him? He's got a giant fish in his mouth. That's a fish. That's a good one. That's a good fish. Oh. 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 You know if there's a tournament out here? Oh, yeah. Makes sense. Well, good luck. So up over there, there's a handful of boats. They're a little ways away, and they're all fishing the part that I'm headed towards. So I'm actually going to slow down. I'm going to try to fish up to them, feel them out, probably just go around them and fish past them, even though they're on this main point that I wanted to fish. Now, there's a handful of people right there, and that's going to be how the day is, because there's like 200 freaking trailers in this parking lot. I've only been here to Orange Lake like 4 times, I think. I'm not sure. I've only been here like 4 times. I've never seen it like this. There's a tournament out here. A guy told me there's a tournament out here. And it's going to be we're going to be around people, because it's not the biggest lake. I think it's like 3,700 acres, if I remember correctly. Way off. 12,706. Oh, you know what? I think Rousseau. I was looking up Rousseau the other day. Lake Rousseau is 3,700, I believe. So, let me put spot lock on. All right, we're getting pushed around a little bit. So like I was saying, there's hundreds of boats out here today. It's the first day that it's warmed up in a while down here in Florida. And it warmed up by like 12 degrees. So it's a pretty good warm, and it's a Saturday, and there's a tournament out here. And there's only a couple lakes on the state of Florida that's not supposed to get rain on. And this is one of them. And Orange Lake is a legit lake. If you're not familiar, we are rocking. Yeah, the boats are making some waves out here. So if you're not familiar with Orange Lake, it's the #1 lake in southeastern United States. And that's according to Bass Nation, not according to me. Actually, most people in Florida consider Fellsmere the #1 lake in Florida. But that's because more trophy bass are caught out of there. So you're more likely to catch an 8-pounder at a Fellsmere, but at an Orange Lake, you're more likely to catch a 15-pounder. And that's why Bass Nation considers it the #1 lake in southeastern United States. And I kind of got to agree with them. It's not the biggest lake. You know, if we do a lot of exploring today, we cover a lot of water in the Old Town Autopilot 120. We're probably going to only cover a third of it. And that's if we cover a lot of water. If we're moving, we're throwing this moving bait, and we're just staying on the move, which I might do. I might just try to stay outside this grass. There's a lot of hydrilla here in Orange Lake, and there's patches of lily pads. And you do have some spots where there's some stumps, some laydowns. So you kind of do a lot of different things. It's not a deep lake. Most lakes in Florida aren't deep. I think 12 feet, it might be the deepest in some spots out in the middle. And yeah, we're gonna run around though. I did not prepare my rods in the best way possible though. I just ran here because I was looking at the weather and was like, yeah, I'm gonna fish Orange Lake. But so I don't have my rods set up perfectly for probably the baits I'd like to throw. I don't even have a swim jig with me. And I have some hybrid hunters and some Swank 66X's by 6 cents, you know, with the little L bill that's made for fishing in the hydrilla. But you kind of want a little bit of a stiffer rod. I don't think I have a good rod for that. I might throw it on a rod with more bend. It is a crankbait, but it's the sort of crankbait you want on a stiffer rod because you are fishing it up through the hydrilla. So if I throw that around on a little bit more of a bend rod, then I'm probably going to try to stay out of the grass and just stay near the grass with the bait if I can. And yeah, enough talking with this intro. We got to get to fishing, but got to let y'all know we're on Orange Lake. This is the sort of place we can catch a personal best. I don't think the state record's going to come out of here, but there's some big bass that come out of here, so it might. Personally, I think the state record's going to come out of the St. Johns River or maybe even Rodman Reservoir that connects to St. Johns River. But there's some big bass that come out of here, so it's possible. It's possible. Those would be my three top places in Florida for a state record. 17.27 pounds, I believe. I was just looking it up the other night, so hope I got that correct. All right, let's get to fishing. As you can see, we're currently just sitting in close to 8 feet of water, but what's really important there is that temperature. It's almost 52 degrees. That is cold for Florida. So I don't know what the temperature has been lately out here on Orange Lake, but that is pretty cold. And that's kind of what it's been elsewhere. And so we are starting here. We're right there right now. A bunch of people are out here on this main point. I think we're just going to go around and then try and come back across the lake. I think that's it. We're not going to do anything too fancy. We're just going to work the shoreline, try to stay out of everyone's way. With the water levels being higher, this creek coming in here, this creek coming in here could be players. We are near the spawn. I mean, I don't know if there's like a certain area that they all spawn at, but in my opinion, it looks like it could be anywhere. It looks like they could probably be spawning anywhere. So we're just going to work around this and come back, and maybe we'll cut across and skip some parts or something, but I think that's the general plan for the day. So having electronics on my kayak is a new thing for me, and I'm seeing some stuff right now. I don't have this dialed in just yet. We're going to try and pay attention to it while we're fishing today. See if it can't help us get on a fish or two. Man, I'd love to be fishing where they're all fishing. I've caught fish every time I've been here at this spot right here. Mainly because I've spent a lot of time fishing that spot every time I've been here. But still, you know, a main point, I like fishing main points most of the time of the year. I think I am going to be able to kind of sneak in next to these guys. Because now that I'm turning this corner, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... I think seven bass boats right over here. I think people are just going to be spread out the whole way around the lake. There's so many boats here. So my plan to just hug the line and go around the lake, I don't think I'm going to be able to do. I'm not trying to ruin anyone's tournament either, but I can't spend half my day running from one side to the other. And like I said, there always seems to be someone that, like, when I'm headed towards a spot, they just cut in front of me at the last second. I don't know if it's a Florida thing or if it's a hate for kayakers or if it's a, you know, the people in the particular boat that cut in front of me, they're not catching them and they think I know something they don't know. You know, probably all of the above. But we got one boat leaving right here, but they were up shallow on this point. I don't really want to fish that shallow. I do have the more shallow hybrid hunter tied on. But I have this tied on because I don't think the bigger one, size-wise, is going to get bit as often. And, you know, big bass bite small baits as well. All right, we're in 6.5 feet of water. It's 52 feet. Okay, so now this guy is cruising that way. I was going to try and go around him and go to those isolated lily pads. But here he is, I think, going to that. Okay, so I guess I'll just start fishing here. All right, this guy's coming towards me now, so I'm going to go past him. I'm going to go past him up to these, up over here, stay out of their way. Now he turned around, he's facing me, so he's not going to where I thought he was going. So I'm going to just keep it moving. Holy cow. Oh, I just saw a freaking giant bass over near the bank. Did anyone else see that? No one saw that. Oh my God, there's a freaking giant over here that just jumped out of the water, shaking its head. 10-pounder. 10-pounder. Not just saying 10-pounder. Legit 10-pounder. I wonder why he shook his head like that. That was weird. I thought it was a bird, though. I was like, why is a bird just shaking? That's a bass. Dude, if we come over here and then catch that sucker, that would be insane. That definitely was a bass that came up out of the water. I don't know if I'm casting in the exact spot it was at or if it moved. Oh my God, bass is behind me now. There's a bass behind me hitting stuff. It's 53 degrees in the water and they're coming up. So, I mean, I'm guessing just the bait fish are suspended because that don't make a whole lot of sense to me. But you know what? Oh, it's right here. You see him? He's got a giant fish in his mouth. He's got a giant fish in his mouth. He's got a giant fish in his mouth. Do you see that? He might come up again. That's the same bass I saw. Dude, the bass like ate a bass. Holy cow. Where is he? Did y'all see that? Oh, I hope y'all saw that. Y'all had to have seen that. Dude, he's not going to bite this. I saw a giant tail sticking out of his mouth. That's why he came out. Dude's struggling right now. Dude, oh my God. Where is he? Dude, that's a 10-pounder. That's a 10-pounder that has like a 4-pound bass in his mouth. What the heck? He's over here struggling to get the dang bass down his gullet. I'm just trying to wait to see where he emerges out of. Oh man, I can't believe we got that on camera. We had to get that on camera. So he was up near the bank, came out the water, and then now he's out here struggling with that fish in his mouth. But you know what's funny? I'm throwing the smaller hybrid hunter because I felt like they're probably going to go after a smaller bait over a bigger bait. Dude, he's got a 4-pound bass down his mouth right now. Probably can throw bigger baits, I guess. This might be too fast, now to think about it. Because I bet when that bass came up towards that other bass, that little bass was not thinking, oh, this guy's going to eat me. So he probably wasn't moving fast. And, we kind of have to work this fast in order to keep the dang. How did I get that stuck on there? We got to kind of work this fast because it rises up so quick. So I actually don't think I'm going to throw that. I'm going to stick with the jackhammer. But there's definitely a giant bass out here that's got a dang bass stuck in his mouth. Crazy. Hey, do you mind if I get up shallow and stay out of your way?
I'm just going straight. You can go wherever you want to, sir.
I'll just let you know I saw a double digit come out the water right here with like a 4-pound bass stuck in his mouth. Yeah, I fished it for a minute, but I was like, he's not going to be able to bite me with that big old bass in his mouth. I still couldn't help myself. I kept casting, So I was thinking, I might fish this one more minute. At first, I saw him up shallow come out the water. And I don't know if he's had that in it or she's had it in her mouth for a while. So I came up shallow, started casting like that big bass showed itself. Like, I'm surprised it came top water right now. And it's like a minute later, right out here. And then I came around towards it, and I think I got it on camera too, because it was right in front of me, came out the water, and I just saw that tail sticking out of his mouth. I said, no way. It might have been 14 pounds. I was like, what? Oh, yeah. Now, yeah. Looks like a pretty big tournament. Are you guys in the tournament? Oh, okay. Well, good luck. All these anglers out here and haven't seen anyone catch a fish yet. And they said they didn't catch one yet when I said I didn't. It's that time of year where I was thinking maybe because it was warmer overnight than usual, maybe there'll be a morning bite. Maybe there was, I don't know. I wonder how long that bass has had that other bass stuck in his mouth. This is gonna be a tough day of fishing with all these people around. Tempted to run over there, but I know like the second I do, I'm gonna have a bunch of people show up. So if no one's getting bit, we might have to slow things down. So we do have to be careful These guys are out here running around, jumping from spot to spot, and there's a lot of them. So we definitely don't want to get hit by any bass boats. So we got to keep our head on a swivel and then go up that shoreline. I don't see anyone on that shoreline at all. Actually, right here might be the best spot to be out of the wind because there's a tree line right there, and I think it's going to come it's going to come across here or across here. If it comes across here, where I'm going is good. If it comes across here, that's going to be good. But that's where we're going to start. Headed right here, this bass boat just came and jumped right in front of me. And this bass boat over here came over and jumped up that coast. So now, I mean, I called that. I said that was going to happen. It happens every single time. I think bass boaters just see you heading towards a spot and they're like, I can beat them there. And they just go to it. Those mud runners are allowed, whatever you want to call them. I go that way, and then there's multiple boats. So I'm just going to keep headed to the once open spot I was going to fish. All right, well, one of the bass boats just took off. Yep. So the wind's just starting to pick up, and we're just getting over here. So we kind of timed that perfectly. So we got about 4 hours of fishing. All right, so we had to pass those people so we could fish another spot since they jumped in front of us. And actually, as we were going past them, I noticed one had their bait stuck on a stump, and the other one was picking out a crow's nest. So I definitely think they jumped in front of us because they saw me headed towards it, and they thought, oh, I bet he knows what he's doing. Let's take his spot. Oh, and now they're leaving now that I passed them. Well, they barely even fished that spot. Unbelievable. I'll skip past the area they already fished, even though I don't know if they knew what they were doing. May not have affected that area at all they fished. But I'm going to go to this spot that they didn't fish yet, and I'm just going to keep the old town parallel to all this different vegetation, and I'm just going to try keep my bait in the strike zone. I'm going to get a little closer, and I'm going to look at the depth and see where it changes. I don't want to hit this bank here, so I'm going to... So it went from 9 to 5 feet right here. So I'm going to hit spot lock so we can stay locked in this position. And I'm going to try to fish parallel to this drop off. So I've never fished this spot on this lake before, so finding some stuff out right now. All right, so I turned off the spot lock so we can get pushed around, let the current take me where it wants to take me. And I'm gonna throw this in here real quick. And this water is actually a little bit cleaner than I thought it was gonna be. That's a fish. That's a good one. That's a good fish. Oh, 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 oh! That's even better. Oh, it broke me off. My drag. The drag wasn't even tight. That was an absolute giant. A freaking absolute giant. Man, this is a crazy day. I'm gonna lock down in this position. I lost my... I think I only have 1 or 2 chartreuse black baits. This one I've got to fish fast because it rises. So unless we get a bass that's going to slam me going fast, probably not going to catch them on this one. That might be like a 2 to 5 foot diver as well. Can't completely tell. I do have... What else do we got in here? I think that might be the best option. Yep. So we're not fishing a tournament out here, so I could care less about a limit. We're trying to catch a big bass. This is Orange Lake. I think I might have said that, but in case I didn't. And that was a good start. Except we freaking lost it. You know, it happened quickly. I steered the bass away from the front of these rods sticking off. So I thought I was doing the right thing. And the line just broke. I probably had a nick in the line. you know. So, yep. Oh well. I've never been back over here. I don't know how many of the big ones are back in here right now or ever. I'd love to find one. I am in Cross Creek. Dang, this thing is big. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'm in the middle of Cross Creek. I'm like almost halfway. Dang, this thing must be huge. I feel like I've been cruising for a while. So we're starting to get a little bit of drizzle. I'm gonna cut the video short. Don't want to mess up any of the equipment. I'd say today was a disappointment. It was a lesson learned. What I learned today, and hopefully you can learn as well, if you can find out whether a certain lake that's maybe not the biggest lake is having a big tournament, if you can find out that information, you should do that, because I found myself just cruising around avoiding people and trying not to get in their way since they're in a tournament and I'm not. I just found myself like not actually fishing. I mean, I still got, not a lot, but I still got a good 2.5 hours of fishing in and only one true bite and some nibbles. Like, that's bad. But we were also not fishing the spots we wanted to. Like, I was trying to fish everywhere else. So this was a little bit of a disappointment today. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll be back, and we'll also bring the right setups and stuff, because this was just like run out here and fish. We'll bring the right setups to fish this hydrilla and everything, and we'll get on some more fish. I've actually, every time I've been out here, I've caught fish. So yeah, this is definitely the worst I've done out here. And it's the one time I came out here to like actually film a video. So yeah, I mean, we had a good one. We hooked up with a good one. I need to get some more crankbaits. It warmed up a little bit today, but it's still cold in my opinion. I mean, the water got up to 56 degrees in the warmest spots. I don't know. That's not that warm, you know. We should have caught them better regardless, but I'm looking forward to when it really warms up, and then we can like get on some top water. You know, I have a feeling that, you know, once it warms up, we're gonna catch a 10-pounder on top water this year. I just have a feeling, because I'm going more to these bigger lakes that are like Orange Lake and Kissimmee. I'm going more to these big bass lakes, and when I go to them, I usually do pretty good. I've been doing pretty good on Kissimmee, and so I will say this, on like Instagram and stuff, I talked about possibly fishing Lake Kissimmee, the national tournament. My computer is having some issues, so I don't think I'm gonna put that $300 towards my computer, because I'm gonna get a new computer so that I can keep cranking out these videos for y'all. I'm not gonna put that towards the tournament, because I feel like best case scenario, I'll get on some fish and maybe get my money back. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't think it'd be smart right now. Heck, I broke like 5 rods the last like handful of times I went fishing before this gap in fishing, and I forgot about that. And heck, I need rods. Apparently I'm low on crankbaits. Like, so yeah, hope you all enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Thanks for lasting this long in this video. We saw some giants out here. We saw some interesting stuff. We explored some new waters. We fished some new stuff. We did some things differently because of the situation with the tournament and stuff out here. That didn't really pan out our way, but we did get to explore some different water. I probably wouldn't have fished that spot where we did hook up with that big one if that tournament wasn't going on, and that was an interesting spot in my opinion. So I'd like to get out here. This is only an hour and a half away from me. I'd like to get out here a lot more and find all the little spots like that. But another time, another day. Hope you all enjoyed this. I'm out. Real Journey. Peace.